Hi everyone, I'm excited to be sharing with you one version of a very healthy lunch that you can pack for the job site. So we're going to be packing it all into a jar. That way we can layer it in a way that nothing's going to get soggy. So we're going to actually put the sauce or the dressing at the bottom, which is a good rule of thumb. We are going to use black beans today and red onion, lime, avocado, tomatoes, cabbage, all these really fresh, beautiful ingredients, lots of vegetables in here. We're eating the rainbow. So all sorts of nutrients are going to be in this meal for you. We're also getting some pumpkin seeds in there that I toasted in a dry skillet. And that gets some really nice minerals and adds some good crunch, and some fresh herbs, which has other types of nutrients for you, and a little heat with some smoked paprika, or you could use chili flakes. So all of this is up for grabs. If you don't have cabbage, you could use carrot. If you don't have tomato, what else could you use? Is this essential? Let's think about like, what is the purpose of this ingredient in here? It's providing some texture, some nice juiciness. So maybe if it's the summertime and you don't have access to tomatoes, you could go ahead and use peaches. Or in the winter, maybe you use roasted beets or squash. So you think about this as a template and swapping ingredients. The onions, if you didn't have onion, you could use garlic or shallot, something else that brings in that pungency. And we've got lime, which is bringing in some acidity, that brightness. We want to balance out the ingredients with high notes and low notes so that everything's in harmony and sings together. And then we got the black beans, which is a nice base, which is really kind of richer and heavy. It's going to fill you up with lots of fiber. So we're going to start with this dressing, which is very, very simple. All of these ingredients are so flavorful that you really don't need much in the way of a dressing. So we're going to use a little bit of olive oil, just about a tablespoon or two, and some lime juice. I'm going to use a fork here just to get up in the middle of this and squeeze right around the fork. And I already squeezed the other half of the lime into the dish with the onions, because that makes the onions a little bit less potent. I don't like tasting onions for the next 24 hours, but so we get to just mellow them out a little bit. So we've got our lime and our olive oil. I'm gonna get a little pinch of pepper in here. You could add salt to this. You know, salt does enhance the flavor, but it's not necessary. There's so much flavor that you really don't need it. Gonna add our black beans. And you can see that we're kind of like going Mexican here with these ingredients. But you could, if you didn't have black beans, you could go in a different direction. You can think about how ingredients that grow together go together. So say we have white beans. White beans are very common in the Mediterranean, let's say Italy. Still use tomatoes, those grow there, but maybe we're going to use olives and we'll use lemon instead of the lime. So next up, we're going to add the onion. And you can see they turn a really beautiful color. They get really bright when you add the citrus juice to them. Nice quick pickle. They've only been sitting in that lime for a few minutes, but they've already gotten nice and bright. And then we're going to add the avocado, because who doesn't like avocado? And that's going to add some healthy fats that's going to keep us fuller longer throughout the day. And fat, fiber, and protein are a really nice trifecta. So that we stay full, our energy stays up, and we don't have any real sugar crashes. Then we got some cabbage. Purple cabbage would be fine too. And this is really nice roasted as well, or you could saute it. When I roast it or broil it, I cut this into wedges and just toss it with a little bit of oil and maybe some salt and pepper right in the oven. Then let's add, I'm going to go with the smoked paprika today. I like a little smoky flavor. If you had fresh jalapeno or another type of pepper, that'd be fine. That'd be great. And then we'll get our pepitas in here for some crunch. Nice little color pop as well. And then I chopped up some cilantro. I used the leaves and the stems. They're tender enough, those stems, that you can eat them. They're not too fibrous or woody. So you've got this whole beautiful lunch here ready to go. You could always, if you'd like, add some meat to it, add some chicken or add some fish, some shrimp, to really bulk it up, to keep you even more full. You could add cheese if you like. So I'm going to review these guidelines for you. One is thinking about a dish as grammar, sentence structure. So if you understand what this template is, what the sentence is, then you know what the purpose of each ingredient is. Then you can swap ingredients. You can decide if you don't need them at all. And then thinking about what grows together goes together. So we know that in the Mediterranean, we've got basil and tomato and my favorite, the mozzarella plant, just kidding. And olives, all those things, lemons, those go really nicely together. But if we come down to another part of the world, if we come down to Mexico, we've got the avocados and cilantro and this whole flavor palette. So if we had coconut and added that into our Mediterranean, not so good. Think about tomatoes and olives, great. But you put pineapple or coconut with olives, that's not going to taste delicious. And we know that when we just think about the globe and where things are growing. Then the other rule of thumb is harmony and balance, thinking about high notes like the acids like vinegar and citrus, balancing out with the lower notes, the richer, deeper, more savory notes like the beans, mushrooms, and meat. And then just really considering flavor and texture, color, of course. We eat with our eyes first, and we want to eat the rainbow to get all sorts of nutrients into our diet. So those are some of the guidelines that I want to leave you with. And then for a visual of this template concept that I was sharing, here's a chart that you can see. And you can see that you've got your base, you've got fruits, vegetables, herbs, nuts, seeds, allium, fat, acid, and you can see on here that another example of this template is instead of using black beans, you could use rice noodles and you could go in a completely different direction. But again, just thinking about what the purpose of each ingredient is, you can decide based on what's in your pantry and what you enjoy the most, what you're craving, what's in season, how you want to move forward with making your lunch.